Hello, Alana.
Hello, Michael Strong.
How are you?
Can he hear you?
Can you hear me?
I
Because I can't
can.
hear you.
I can hear you, but oh,
Okay.
there we go. Now we have video as well. So
Okay.
it looks like you are outside somewhere.
I am. I was just shooting bows and arrows right now.
You are doing
A few
archery.
minutes ago.
How do you like it?
I love it.
Is it easy or hard?
Hard and easy at the same time, kind of.
So explain that. How can it be hard and easy at the same time?
Like it's a little hard, but a little easy at the same time. Like a little bit of middle.
Is it in the middle, or is it hard in some ways and easy in other ways?
Yeah, hard in some ways and easy in other ways.
So what are some of the ways in which it's hard?
Like if you point it to up or you point it to down, it can go underneath the target or above the target and land in the bushes.
So it is hard to hit a bullseye, for instance?
Yeah,
Have you hit a bullseye yet?
I have.
Are you getting better and better?
I am.
How many, is this your first day, or how long have you been doing it?
It is my second day.
All right. So it's hard to hit the target and even harder to hit a bullseye.
Yep, kind of.
And so in what ways is it easy?
Sometimes it's easy, like when you get it like straight, it goes right where you want it.
And why do you think sometimes you get it straight and sometimes you don't?
Because when you're stretching the string, sometimes you don't notice, but you're like pointed to the side, so it goes in the wrong direction that you want it to.
So do you think that getting better at archery is a matter of noticing and being more aware?
Yeah,
it
is.
Would you say that you are trying to get better?
I am trying to get better.
Okay. So is there anything other than noticing that helps you get better at it?
Also by watching other people do it, because there's other people doing it right now.
And how does watching other people help?
Because you can see their different strategies and how they keep it straight or how they do it.
Mm-hmm. What's a strategy you observed from looking at other people? Can you give me an example?
And also my dad told me this. So keep your hand on your cheek and no more else. And if it doesn't hit your arm, because you have like this arm guard to protect your arm if the string hits you. And if it doesn't hit your arm, sometimes you're doing it like crooked.
Mm-hmm. So your dad said, don't let it hit your arm. And your dad also said you put it next to your cheek. Is that correct?
No, you want it to hit your arm. So, because
you
if
do?
it hits your arm, that means you're doing it right. Yeah, you do. Because if it hits your arm, it means you're doing it right.
I see. And what is the thing about the cheek? You're supposed to hold it next to your cheek?
Because if you hold it further, I don't know what'll happen, but if you just do it to the cheek, like right here to the corner of your mouth,
yep.
I think it'll go as far as you want.
See.
Because there's also another range behind me that is further than that one.
Got it. So so you are noticing, and that's helping you improve. You look at other people and get strategies, and your dad is giving you advice, right?
Yep.
So I'm still looking for a strategy you got from looking at other people. So I know what your dad told you. Can you give me an example of something you learned from looking at other people?
So they kept their eyes on the where they wanted to go, and also imagine the arrow as a pointer finger pointing at the target, because I noticed that they were looking down the arrow.
I see. And so you started to do that?
Yep.
Does it help?
And also my dad told me that.
I see. Does it help your aim to be able to do that?
It does.
So on day 2, you're learning that it can be hard to hit the target, but you're becoming more aware. When you say notice, I also would say that's similar to becoming more aware of how you're doing it. Would you say that's accurate?
Yep.
So
I think. it is.
So you're becoming more aware of what you're doing. Your dad gave you advice on how to hold the bow, how far to stretch it back, and then this keeping your eye on the target and using. Do you kind of line up the point of the arrow with the target, when you are keeping your eye on the target? I'm trying to imagine exactly what you're doing. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Do you think that you could teach somebody else how to shoot a bow and arrow?
A little bit. Like I could teach them like a few like strategies
Okay.
and how to put the arrow in if they're like just a beginner.
Yeah. And do you know what it will take to get better from where you are? How do you get better from where you are? Or do you think you're practicing? And how does practicing help you get better?
Because as you do it more and you find out some more cool strategies, sometimes you can try them and it'll make you do it more better.
Are you aware of anything that you're doing right now that you know is making you miss the target? Like, is there something you know you should be doing differently, but you're just not very good at doing it differently?
Yeah, like sometimes I like point it crooked or I put it up more or down more, because if I point it up more, it'll go over the target and into the bushes, and it'll be kind of hard to find.
So that's kind of be noticing and making sure you're going right at the target. Do you find that your body shakes at all, and so it's kind of moving around, or are you very, very calm and focused?
Yeah. Sometimes I shake, sometimes I'm very calm and focused.
And what's the difference there? How can you become more calm and focused and shaking around less?
For me, when I'm calm and focused, it's like just when I like stretch it out, and then if I hold it for too long, I become shaky, and I'm like, what'll happen?
I see. So it sounds like actually it's sort of when you first stretch back the bow is when ideally you kind of get a perfect shot by stretching back the bow and being right, having the arrow pointed in the correct direction without waiting too long. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yep.
And
it is.
Do you think it's because your arms get tired that after a while, if you hold too long, it starts to wiggle all over the place?
Maybe that could be a thing.
Have you ever decided that you were wiggling too much, and instead of shooting the arrow, you kind of unstretched it again and then pulled it back again? That is, do you ever kind of not take a shot because you realize you're just off?
Yeah. Sometimes. And if you just feel yourself shaking, you can just put it down and then pick it back up again and then do it.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. If you've held it back too long, do you feel as though you've got just like a couple of seconds that are perfect? And if it's more than maybe even 1 second is too long, how long do you have before you kind of start moving around? Is it like 10 seconds? Is it 1 second? Is it half a second?
Maybe something to 20 to 10 seconds. Like I do like this and then
So you can hold it about 10 seconds before you get shaky?
Yeah.
That's a long time. It seems like you should be able to focus. So would you say that you're hitting the target 9 times out of 10 now, or 5 times out of 10? How often do you hit the target?
Maybe 5, but I don't hit bullseye like right away.
How often do you get a bullseye?
Maybe 3%. Maybe 3 out of 5. 3 out of 10.
3 bullseyes out of 10? That seems pretty good.
I think so.
But then 5 out of 10 completely miss the target? Is that accurate? Yeah. So are you, and not that you need to kind of take data, but do you know what data is?
Like some information?
Yeah, and like numbers. So, if you were going to become a competitive archery, expert, I could imagine, are you interested in becoming competitive?
I am.
Okay. In which case, again, it's only day 2, so it's pretty early. But you might want to start to keep a track of, how many out of 10 you're getting and how many bullseyes and so forth, and basically measuring, and then you can see, if your numbers are getting better day by day. Does that make sense?
Yep. It
How
does.
often will you be able to shoot archery? Is this like just once a month, once a year, once a week?
Maybe like, I don't really know. We haven't really figured out a schedule yet. But last night we started shooting after we bought the bow there.
Got it. Got it. Well,
Because there's like a room. Because there's a room in that shop that some people go in to shoot.
Yep. Yep. So, you know, there's something, so you're right, practice is how you get better. There's something called deliberate practice, which means really paying attention to how to get better at each part of what you're doing. And people who become world class, people who become the best in the world, they almost always use some kind of deliberate practice. So it's not just practicing, it's also noticing, you know, is it because you're holding the bow out too long? Is it because, I don't know, you're standing wrong? Is it because your arm's in the wrong place? That noticing about why you're doing well or not doing so well, that's how you get better at things. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
So it sounds like you already, at your age, you know quite a lot about deliberate practice. So I'm going to encourage you to just keep noticing, whether it's you know, jujitsu or reading or writing or math or archery. Notice how you get better. Notice, because we'll all of us, sometimes we're all tired. You know, sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I'm lazy. You know, all sorts of things mean I don't do my best. But when you're ready to do your best, yeah, kind of notice, okay, what caused me not quite to do as well that time? And then you keep noticing, and that allows you to focus on what it takes to get better. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. In which case, have a great day of archery, and hopefully we'll talk again next weekend, okay?
Okay.
Bye-bye, Alana.
Bye, Michael Strong.